In our last episode, we talked about our favorite movie and what it would take to produce this movie. Actually, our last two episodes. We talked about one of the components needed would be money. We talked about world-class actors needing to be hired for this production. We also talked about having a script, having a sense of direction, and that is where I want to put a little more focal point or a little more focused attention on the script, the direction of this film, because remember, we tied this whole idea in with the film being our lives. What is most important to us as wounded, broken individuals who are seeking to be put back together? We need to have a focus and we need to have a script, a sense of direction. If we're going to be able to accomplish anything in this life, again, the film that we are involved in producing is the film of our lives. We've got to make sure that we are in the best position possible to perform. And with that, it means we must have a script, a focus, and a plan. How many of us wake up early in the morning and sit down and begin to plan out our day? Or how many of us lay in bed for as long as we possibly can until we've got exactly no time left that should just jump in the vehicle and rush to work? I mean, why am I asking that? And why is that important? Because, hey, you need your sleep, right? And I work hard enough as it is. Some of us, as wounded, broken people, work 2 or 3 jobs. I understand you need your rest, and I understand that life takes from you, and you've got to replenish that by resting. However, for us to make the best of our day, as wounded men and women, for us to make the best of the 24 hours that we've been given and that we've been granted, we've got to get up early out of our beds and make a plan. We've got to sit on the edge of our bed, even if we're sitting on the toilet bowl, God forbid, and just make a plan. Think about how you're going to do what you got to do and put it in motion, set it in motion. You know, one of my favorite athletes of all time, Michael Jordan, he said this, that he would visualize himself making the layup or the jump shot before he actually did it. So he would sit down before games and he would visualize any and every scenario that would pop up in his mind so that when the game time actually came, he was not fumbling around trying to figure out what to do in the moment. He had already thought it out. He'd already planned it. And this is the idea with a script. No movie ever just gets produced with directors getting on set with actors yelling out action, and there's no direction, there's no scheme, there's no script. It doesn't work this way. But many of our lives are running on that same ideology that we don't have a plan, we're not focused, we don't know what we're supposed to do in this moment, and we don't know what we're supposed to do in the next. We're just kind of winging it because that's just what we're doing. Without a plan, you cannot produce the best version of this movie of your life. You cannot. If you do not sit down and go over your life. And for many of us, we don't want to hear the word God. That's okay. I'm not here to break your head open with religion. However, I will say this. I would agree that it would be wise of us to find our core and our center. And religion, Christianity, the Bible, for me, has been my center, my core, God, and an idea of who Jesus Christ is and what he offers for me in my life has been the foundation to help focus me. I don't get it right all the time. Let me just say that. And for many of us out there that are making our excuse as to why we don't draw to God, things like, well, you know, I've been around Christians before, or I've got family members that are Christians and they're not the right example. That's not an excuse. Even if you are not at the point where you don't want to believe and submit yourself to a God that is all powerful, okay, fine. If that's where you at, why don't you give him a chance to help guide your day-to-day affairs and let the relationship begin from there? Because you winging it and you doing it the way you've been doing thus far, how is that done for you? What has that done for you? I'm encouraging us as wounded, broken people to plan out our lives in a much better way than we have. In fact, We haven't planned anything out at all. We've just kind of let things go. And that has not been an avenue of success.